President Donald J. Trump has presented a plan for peace in Gaza that has drawn wide international attention and support. Many leaders and governments describe it as a turning point after years of destruction and conflict. The plan calls for an immediate end to fighting, the release of all hostages, large-scale humanitarian relief, and a long-term effort to rebuild Gaza into a stable and prosperous place. Joint statement by foreign ministers of Qatar, Jordan, UAE, Indonesia, Pakistan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. The ministers of Qatar, Jordan, the United Arab Emirates, Indonesia, Pakistan, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt welcome President Trump's initiative. They express appreciation for his efforts to end the war in Gaza and trust in his ability to find a path toward peace. They underline the importance of working with the United States to secure peace in the region. They also welcome Trump's announcement that the plan includes an end to the war, rebuilding Gaza, preventing forced displacement of Palestinians, advancing comprehensive peace, and halting annexation of the West Bank. The ministers state their readiness to work constructively with the United States and all parties to finalize and implement the agreement in a way that brings peace, security, and stability to the peoples of the region. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Australia welcomes Trump's plan to bring peace to Gaza after 2 years of conflict and heavy loss of life. Azerbaijani Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Azerbaijan welcomes the U.S. President's announcement of a comprehensive plan to end the Gaza conflict. They stress that lasting peace requires trust, respect for international law, prisoner and hostage exchanges, and humanitarian aid. Building confidence and dialogue are necessary for stabilization, and the two-state solution should remain the basis of settlement. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney. Canada welcomes Trump's new Middle East peace plan and urges all parties to work for its success. Carney calls on Hamas to release all hostages without delay. Canada commits to supporting sustained humanitarian aid in Gaza and to working with partners toward a sovereign, democratic, and viable Palestinian state living in peace with Israel. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. She welcomes Trump's commitment to end the war in Gaza and calls on all parties to seize the opportunity, with the EU ready to contribute. European Council President Antonio Costa. Costa welcomes Trump's plan and Netanyahu's positive response. He says all parties should use this chance to end hostilities, release hostages, and move toward a two-state solution. China. China states it supports any effort that helps ease tensions between Israel and Palestine, according to Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo Jiakun. French President Emmanuel Macron. Macron welcomes Trump's commitment and expects Israel to engage fully. He says Hamas must release hostages immediately and accept the plan. Macron stresses the two-state solution endorsed by many UN members and says France will stay engaged and vigilant on commitments. German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul. He says the U.S. plan is a unique opportunity that gives hope to people in Gaza and Israel. He urges Hamas to accept it and calls on those who can influence Hamas to act. Wadephul thanks Trump and Arab states for their roles and notes Trump's readiness to lead a board of peace as proof of his commitment. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Modi welcomes the plan as a viable path to peace, security, and development for Palestinians, Israelis, and the region, and calls for all sides to support the initiative. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Meloni describes the plan as possibly a turning point, allowing hostilities to cease, hostages to be released, and humanitarian aid delivered. Italy welcomes the plan and pledges to work with the U.S. and partners in support of it. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. Ishiba highly welcomes Trump's leadership. He says the plan marks a significant step toward a two-state solution a ceasefire, humanitarian relief, and hostage release. New Zealand Minister of Foreign Affairs, Winston Peters. Peters refers to New Zealand's UN speech, stressing diplomacy and global leadership. He welcomes the U.S. plan as such leadership, calls on parties to seize the chance, and urges an immediate end to the war. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun. Aoun welcomes Trump's plan to end the war, praises its effort to reduce civilian suffering, and calls it a realistic approach. He expresses hope for quick approval by all parties. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Sharif welcomes Trump's 20-point plan, calls it crucial for political stability and economic growth, and believes Trump is prepared to ensure its success. He also highlights the role of U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and stresses that a two-state solution is essential. Palestinian Authority. The authority welcomes Trump's efforts, affirms confidence in his ability to find peace, and underlines partnership with the United States in achieving regional peace. Spanish President Pedro Sánchez. Sánchez welcomes the U.S. peace proposal, calls for an end to suffering, immediate hostage release, and humanitarian aid. He reaffirms that the two-state solution is the only viable path. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Erdogan commends Trump's efforts to stop bloodshed and says Turkey will continue contributing to a fair and lasting peace acceptable to all. United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Starmer says Trump's initiative is profoundly welcome. He supports efforts to end fighting, release hostages, and provide humanitarian aid. He calls on Hamas to accept the plan and stresses building consensus for a permanent ceasefire and peace based on safety for both peoples. Former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair. Blair calls Trump's plan bold and intelligent, capable of ending war and ensuring Israel's security while helping Gaza's people. He thanks Trump for his determination and says the plan offers the best chance to end 2 years of conflict. Russia. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov says Moscow welcomes Trump's efforts to end the tragedy and hopes the plan leads to peace. The Netherlands. Foreign Minister David Van Wiel calls Trump's proposal significant, especially Israel's acceptance. He highlights its importance for hostages, humanitarian aid, and lasting peace, and says the Netherlands remains committed. Kazakhstan. President Tokayev, through his press secretary, calls the plan a unique opportunity and a crucial step toward regional peace, strengthening trust, and lasting stability. The widespread reactions show that President Trump's proposal has sparked rare unity across regions, with many leaders framing it as a decisive chance to end the Gaza war and move toward a lasting peace. That's all for now from Global Pulse Unplugged. Stay sharp, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.